Vaccination or natural infection may still protect against the COVID-19 Omicron variant, but probably not the way you think. Welcome back to this channel. As part of my New Year's resolution, I am trying to make more educational videos, mostly on infectious diseases, research methods, and other stuff that may interest me. One of the current global strategies to counter COVID-19 infections is through vaccinations. Vaccinations using any one of the approved COVID-19 vaccines has been proven to reduce rates of severe infections and hospitalizations, and this happens by teaching the human body, particularly the B cells, to produce antibodies against the spike protein of COVID-19, which eventually deactivates the virus. However, B cell response and production of antibodies is just one arm of the human immune response against COVID 19. The other arm, the cell mediated immune system, involves in part another kind of immune cells, the T cells. So, to start 2022, let's talk about the latest COVID 19 variant that is currently sweeping the globe, Omicron. In particular, I want to share a preprint study by Keeton et al. Shared last December 26, 2021, entitled SARS-CoV-2 Spike T cell responses induced upon vaccination or infection remain robust against Omicron. This is the abstract or summary of the study, which we will try to dissect line per line, plus some additional research and comments. The Omicron variant has 37 mutations in its spike protein, 15 of which are in its ACE2 receptor binding domain. These mutations are the main culprits why the variant has shown ability to evade the antibodies produced by the available vaccines, as well as other antibody therapies. A study by Cao et al. Estimated that Omicron evades more than 85% of the 247 neutralizing antibodies that they were able to test, which explains why there seems to be a lot of Omicron infections even among those who were already fully vaccinated. Please take note though that testing positive for Omicron and getting hospitalized for Omicron are two different things. The role of T cell immunity in Omicron infections is not well known. However, as early as December 2020, T cell response has been identified as important in helping prevent reinfection, especially if antibody levels are low or declining. This again highlights the importance of not just focusing on the antibody levels of a person, but rather on the general immune system profile of COVID 19 patients, which includes the T cell arm. If you want a crash course on basic human immunology, I recommend the Kurzgesagt videos on the immune system. The link to a fantastic video is in the description below. The study recruited a total of 70 patients who were either vaccinated with 2 doses of either the J&J or the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccines or who had recovered from previous infection. They isolated blood samples from the donors and profiled their immune cells and antibodies, as well as used their blood to challenge both the ancestral or the original COVID-19 antigens, as well as antigens from the Beta, Delta, and the Omicron variants. The results showed that T cell response to the Omicron antigens were about 70 to 80% compared to the response from the original virus. CD4 or the helper T cells were more responsive compared to the CD8 or cytotoxic T cells. By the way, the CD8 cytotoxic T cells are mainly responsible for destroying infected cells, while the CD4 helper T cells send signals to other cells like the CD8 T cells that they need to destroy infected cells. Again, go watch the Kurzgesagt videos. The study also demonstrated that in unvaccinated persons who were previously infected and hospitalized for COVID 19, their T cell responses were more or less similar regardless of which variant they were infected with. The overall frequency of T cell responders per variant was also similar. This means that while the B cell antibody response of persons who are vaccinated or previously infected are dependent on a lot of things, including the type of variant, their T cell response were similar regardless of the COVID 19 variant. Their study suggests that the majority of T cell response, whether induced by vaccination or previous COVID 19 infection, contributes to protection from severe COVID 19. This well preserved T cell immunity may be contributory to protection against the Omicron variant and possibly even against future variants, even if antibody response is low or diminishing. This is definitely some good news for us, given that the transmissibility of the Omicron variant seems to be higher even compared to Delta. The limitations of the study and this review would be number one, the study is still in preprint and has not undergone peer review yet. Number two, the study does not explain why Omicron variant infections seem to be less severe compared to Delta variant infections, even if T cell response to both variants are equivalent. And number three, the study did not include patients who received other vaccines as well as booster doses, so we may need to wait for further data. To summarize the study in one line, while the COVID 19 Omicron variant is capable of evading the B cell antibody response elicited through vaccinations or previous natural infections, severe infections due to the variant remain low. And this may be possibly due to significant T cell mediated immunity.